Hey guys, it's BigBang2PM96, and today I'm going to show you guys how to make a fun little gerbil box. So right here I have this huge pile of like napkins and hay and like things of gerbil food and supplements and stuff that I've just mixed together. So this is going to be the first thing that goes in. So I'm just going to grab a handful of it and just stuff it in as a little assortment of stuff just for the first layer as a little bit of fun for them. So the first layer is just going to be a bunch of like random pieces of food and like maybe the occasional treat or something. So this is the first layer, and yeah, so you just want to spread it out so that it looks like this. And then you're going to want to take some shredded paper. I put this in their cage, but I'm going to use it for this just to show you guys. And just stick it in like this. And that's so that you don't have to use a ton of tissues. So then you're going to take more and put it in. So this was from an old gerbil box that I made that I decided I didn't really like the design of. So I am now using a new design, so that's why I have so much of this already made. And so the fluff is just a bunch of ripped up tissues and toilet paper and stuff. And then there's just like little things of food and stuff that I'd scattered in originally, but now I'm doing a new thing. And then I'm going to take a bit more of this and put it in. So yeah, and then this and put it in. And you should come out with a pretty full box. And I was originally going to do layers, but I don't do layers anymore because I feel like layers gets a bit boring because it's just like I have one layer of this and one layer of this, and I thought it'd be a bit more interesting for them if it was just scattered and there was no real like shape or like form to it. And so then I have these like little treats here and pieces of hay that I'm going to just stick in. And yeah, so I just take these out, and there's a bunch of little things of food. So I'm just going to move these little things. Hold on, guys. Okay, so now I just have pretty bare napkins. So I'm going to take them and then just bunch them up like this. And just pour their contents into the thing. And if you spill some, it's fine. You can just stick it in. Gerbils won't really care. So I just take them, put them in, take them, put them in. And you want to get a lot of little seeds in there because they do enjoy them. And yeah, so this goes in like this. And then you want to do it the same thing with the other one. So you guys probably won't have to do this because it's just me who had happened to screw up at the time. So yeah, and so here it is. And when you do this, you're going to want to just take maybe a napkin or a plate or something and put some shredded up tissues and some food and some hay in, and just mix it all up and then put it in. But you want maybe some more of this in here and maybe some more. And this is shredded up paper that I have old like rough drafts and stuff written on from school. You don't want to use anything with like ink from pens or like lead from pencils. This is all from my printer, and it's a bit safer for them. So you just want to stick it in like so, and then maybe take some of this fluff and put it in, and you want to make it as full as possible. That way it'll be really interesting for them to like dive into and explore. Kind of. It sounds a bit cheesy, I know, but they really do have pretty boring lives because their entire lives are in that cage, so you want to make everything as interesting and exciting as possible for them. So just put it in and get all of these little crumbs, and you can just do this and gather all of them and just put them in, and you just want to sprinkle. So, a bunch of seeds popped out. Okay, so put that in, and then you will have a bunch of like these little seeds. I don't know if you can see them, like these. You'll have a bunch of these sitting on your floor. It'll most likely be a lot of Malay on your floor, or millet. I don't really know how you pronounce it. But you can either pick them up and put them in, or you could just leave them and vacuum them up. It doesn't really matter what you do. Yeah. So then you have a thing that looks like this, and I'm gonna put some more paper in for them, and it has a bit of bedding mixed in because it was sitting inside their cage right here. I think I did a video on that earlier, but I'm posting these in an awkward order, and hopefully I'm not going to be posting them all at once. I don't know, because whenever I post, I go on these intense posting sprees, and I go on intense recording sprees, so hopefully I won't do that this time, because I feel like 80 videos in one day is a bit extreme. Hey! So yeah, so this is like your basic gerbil box, and if you want to decorate it, you could maybe put like some papers. You could glue it using Elmer's glue, and you can glue some papers around it and stuff. But I'm not going to, because I think the design here is fine with just the flowers and everything. And yeah, so when you do this, you might want to use something with an open top like this, because it's easy for the gerbils to get into. And let's see, what else do I want to say? Yeah, it's just easier for them to access. And you don't want to use scented or like toilet paper or napkins or toilet paper, or I just said toilet, or tissues or stuff like that. You don't want to use anything scented for the materials, and you don't want to use anything with lotion on it, because some tissues have lotion. So what's basically in here is hay, gerbil food, a very, very small handful of treats, some cracked up supplements, but instead of these you could probably use dog kibble. So some cracked up supplements, and this shredded up paper that I just used my shredder for, some bedding, but the bedding shouldn't actually be in here. Don't include bedding, it's just because this was in here, like I said before, and toilet paper and tissues. So that's all that's in here, and it's very like inexpensive to make, and it's a pretty fun toy. And then I just take this toilet paper roll, and after I squish this down, I just stick it in like that, so that it's like a little tube, so if they run in through this side, they can run through and immediately get to the side through this tube, and I think it'd be more fun for them. In place of this tube, you could also take a block of hardwood, no softwoods, but hardwood that's been untreated, and it doesn't have to be some special hardwood thing. You could just buy it from like Home Depot or wherever you would buy your wood, and you can cover it with a very thin layer of peanut butter and roll it around in their gerbil food, and the seeds should stick to it, and once it dries you could use it and give it to them. You want to make sure not to give it to them all at once. If you do this, you could just give it to them with this thing, but after they're done playing in this, you have to take the treat thing out at some point in time, after maybe a few hours of them having it, because peanut butter is really fatty for them. So you don't want to give them too much. And the stick with peanut butter and seeds over it is essentially those treat sticks that you can buy. But since you are using your own home mix, you shouldn't have any peanut butter or peanuts or sunflower seeds or corn or anything in it, so it's not quite as fatty for them. And also, instead of honey, you're using peanut butter, and you're using a nice thin thing, and you know exactly what's going on. The thing on the stick rather than a store-bought one. So that's why I would use a store-bought one instead, or that's why I would use a homemade one instead of a store-bought one. But I think a toilet paper is perfectly fine for this. And yeah. So they've never had this before, but I'm going to put them in their actual thing. Oops, sorry baby. So that they can try and maybe explore it. I'm not really sure how they'll react because they haven't used it before. I've given them to my old gerbils, but I've never given it to these guys. So yeah, maybe I'll just flip it around so that she can climb in and check it out. So yeah, so your gerbils will probably do what she's doing, just kind of go inside and explore. And she's a bit curious, but I think, oh yeah, she took something out of there, now she's eating it. So yeah, that's basically what your gerbils will do. They'll take out all the treats first, they might nibble a bit on the hay, and yeah, overall it is a pretty good thing. As for the box you use, it doesn't necessarily have to be a cardboard box. You could actually use a wooden one, and maybe like you can go to maybe Michael's, you can go to Michael's and buy like a large wooden box so that you can keep reusing it, and if they chew on it, that's not that bad. And yeah, so you could, but I use a cardboard one so they can chew it, but if you want to keep reusing the same box, you could buy a wood one and do it instead. So yeah, that's about it. Bye guys.